Hello all, thank you so much for joining us today. We're here to discuss the continuous improvement plan for the central administration migration for RS2. Just before we continue, Shannon, are you happy for me to record today's session?
Yes, I am more than happy for that.
Thank you so much. So just before we kick it off, I thought that it would be a good opportunity to introduce the CI team today. We have Lucinda Simmons, Katriana Fitzgerald, and myself, Ashleigh Laurence, and we will be leading this project. So a little overview of the organisation. So Service New South Wales has over 3,000 employees and spans across several channels to accommodate the ever-changing needs of the citizens of New South Wales. We will be tackling RS2 for the migration project. It's one of 7 clusters within the contact centre division, and it is currently spread over 3 regional sites, Gosford, Maitland and Lithgow. Due to increasing workload and call volumes, the contact centre actively recruits on an ongoing basis. It is imperative that our frontline team members and leaders have the tools and resources they need to assist our customers and make doing business with us easy. This is an overview of our implementation strategy. So we find consistently after every project that the main feedback that we have is that communication and preparation is desired. So that is going to be our focus for this project. We will encourage and engage with the team early on as well, and gain their insights, suggestions and feedback. Through this effective communication, we will set up regular meetings to discuss changes and ideas, and this will help drive momentum and gain commitment from all team members. We have our stakeholder engagement with involving them and consulting relevant parties. We will do this with weekly check-ins as well to make sure that we have all our bases covered. We will make sure that we're training staff, which will have various techniques, face-to-face facilitation, online modules, workbooks and training guides, and SharePoint site walkthroughs and tutorials. We want to make sure that we're meeting all organisations' sustainability requirements. So this will be an online platform, which pro of that is paper-free. The CI plan will be checked against every relevant and current sustainability policy. And this will also ensure that we're complying with any legislative requirements, which will check against the New South Wales government legislation.
We have also done a deep dive into stakeholder analysis to understand who's involved and who we need involved. So our internal stakeholders will be our Road Safety 2 leadership team, or the RS2 team, along with the RS2 contact centre managers. So what we plan on doing is providing all staff with the documents, policies, procedures that will be added to the SharePoint and gaining approval from the contact centre managers to make sure what's being implemented into the new SharePoint is sufficient and going to support our frontline team leaders. We have our customer improvement managers who will provide quality assurance framework, support resources to assist our leaders with customer improvement outcomes. We then also have engaged with our training team, as Ash mentioned earlier. So they will build and shape this training, ensuring that it's accessible and inclusive to assist our leaders with the new platform and this transition. We've also engaged with our senior project manager and the project coordinator. They will help to build and create a timeline that will shape this project and keep our stakeholders accountable and on track for the project deliverables. We've also engaged with our workforce planning team. So they'll advise us when the business can accommodate the leaders to be, offline and attend the SharePoint training to make sure that they understand the new systems and are comfortable with this. And we've also have our IT consultants for SharePoint. So the consultants will build the SharePoint site and communicate to the training team how to effectively manage the content ongoing. The training team will then support the leadership team with the training and ensuring that all our stakeholders are able to effectively communicate and keep on top of this. We will be arranging weekly meetings and also have a Microsoft Teams chat with all the relevant stakeholders so they can keep that clear communication line. So the improvements to be achieved, Ash, thank you. So we've got a centralized administration migration project. So the improvement is required as our secure centralized location that houses shared databases, staff files, projects, resources, and research files, and as our K drive. The K drive, we plan to have that disabled from January 1, 2023. So going into the new year nice and fresh with the new system. So you can see we've got our discovery and engagement phase, the 3rd to the 4th of November. We've got the creation phase being the 7th to the 18th of November, followed by our implementation phase, 2nd to the 16th of December, and the optimize phase, which will carry on from the 9th to the 30th of December. So we are running a tight ship timeline wise, but I'm confident we'll be able to get this done. And in regards to our monitoring processes, we will have the goal is to get the leaders to utilize the SharePoint as much as possible. To achieve this, we will be providing them with a reason to go there. So everything that they need will be there. This will be accomplished through adding and updating content frequently and directing traffic there. So to ensure staff are using the SharePoint for certain purposes, we can direct them by providing links to files that might have been emailed between staff members in the past. So to effectively measure this, once we've launched, we'll set our initial goal of 80% usage for the organisation. We expect weekly incremental increases of 20% for all users. We expect them, they will be using the K drive until that's disabled. And with our plan, the CI plan will be checked against relevant organisational policies, procedures and protocols prior to the implementation.
Thanks, Kat. Okay, so to manage opportunities for further improvement. So we are looking to capture insights, experiences, and ideas for improvement from when the SharePoint rollout is initiated through the following methods. We would firstly look to get some user feedback on the SharePoint site layout and documents stored on the SharePoint by attaching a survey to the document with one or more of the questions such as, was this document helpful and why? We would also look to create a discussion board to capture suggestions to improve layout, content, and effectiveness. And thirdly, we'd look to track user access to documents with DocRead reporting. This can help gauge how frequently the document is accessed. Thanks, Ash. Okay, so here on the screen, you can see some sample processes. Just bringing that up. Okay, so what we're looking at is how the training will be conducted and delivered. So we're going to encourage the CI feedback submission. So we're going to create a feedback request portal from the SharePoint where users can raise problems and suggestion solutions for improvement. The training team will create a tailored video for users when submitting the request to ensure all relevant information is captured and provided. Then we'll look at developing a SharePoint site walkthrough, like a tutorial. This will be pre-recorded as a short video to demonstrate to the user the SharePoint site functionality and capabilities. This resource will be posted to the SharePoint user to access at any time. And that's our last slide. So thank you. We now invite some feedback and questions pertaining to the improvement plan. If you've got any questions, Shannon.
Yeah, amazing. So I do have a couple of questions. So the first question is, how will you support your frontline leaders with the transition? So what tools will they have available to understand the new system?
I can take that one if you like, Kat.
Ash.
So there will be a number of different resources and tools available to our affected team leaders. It will be a combination of the resources provided by the training team. So they'll have guides and walkthroughs that will be available to them in how to access the SharePoint, how to upload documents, and all the general kind of tools and actions that they'll require. We'll then have a SME line, so kind of like a hypercare team following throughout the migration. If anything goes wrong, we've got our consultants on hand that can fix it or fix any broken links. So there will be a hypercare period and ongoing tools available following the migration.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you. And my other question is, if SharePoint was to go down, what is the business continuity plan?
So I'll take that one. With the business continuity plan, we have definitely looked at our options here. So although we've said that we're disabling the K drive for effective the 1st of January 2023, we will have the option to reinstate that so we can access all the documentations there. Along with our SharePoint and IT team, they will have access to them instantly if it does go down, and they'll be working on it to get it back up and running. But we do have the K drive as a backup plan in the worst case scenario that SharePoint does drop.
Perfect. Thank you. That's all I have to ask.
So thanks for your time today, Shannon. We will email across the strategy plan, and we're requesting to get an approval for the outcome by the 9th of November, because as you can see, we were on a tight deadline to ensure we adhere to our implementation timeline. If you have any further questions, please feel free to email through to the CI team, and we'll get those answers to you shortly. Thank you.
Perfect. Thanks so much, guys.
Thanks.
Thanks so much for your